The ruins of the Blackwood Manor smoldered under the pale light of the moon, casting long shadows that seemed to shift and whisper with the night wind. Emily and I stood at the edge of the wreckage, our bodies trembling from exhaustion, our minds struggling to comprehend the nightmare we had just escaped. The air still carried the scent of ancient decay, the weight of the past lingering like a specter refusing to be banished. For a moment, we allowed ourselves to believe that it was over, that we had truly put an end to the horrors that had plagued this cursed place. But then, the whisper came. "You may have won this time, but the Blackwood curse is eternal." The voice was barely more than a breath against my ear, but its impact sent an icy dagger of fear through my spine. Emily must have heard it too because she flinched, her grip on my arm tightening until her nails dug into my skin. My heart pounded as I turned, scanning the darkness for any sign of movement, but there was nothing. Just the eerie silence of a place that had long since forgotten the sound of life. "Did you hear that?" Emily's voice was barely above a whisper. I nodded, swallowing hard. "We need to go. Now." We didn't waste another second. Hand in hand, we made our way down the overgrown path that led away from the ruins. Our steps hurried but cautious. Every rustle of the leaves, every distant hoot of an owl felt like a warning, a reminder that we were still tethered to something far beyond our understanding. As we reached the car parked at the bottom of the hill, a deep sense of unease settled over me. Something wasn't right. The engine sputtered to life after several agonizing attempts, the headlights cutting through the fog that had begun to roll in from the woods. I gripped the steering wheel tightly, forcing myself to focus on the road ahead. But my mind kept drifting back to that whisper, to the unseen force that had bound itself to this place. As the manor faded from view in the rearview mirror, a part of me expected to see Victor's shadow standing amidst the ruins, watching, waiting. But there was nothing. We drove in silence, the weight of the past hour pressing down on us like a suffocating force. Emily's hands were clasped together in her lap, her fingers trembling slightly. I wanted to tell her that we were safe now, that the nightmare was over, but I couldn't bring myself to say the words. Not yet. The scars of what we had witnessed, what we had endured, ran too deep to be ignored. The town's lights appeared on the horizon like beacons of salvation, and I exhaled a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. Civilization. Reality. A world that made sense. I pulled into the nearest motel parking lot, my hands still shaking as I killed the engine. We needed rest, a moment to process everything before deciding what to do next. The thought of stepping into another dimly lit building sent a shiver through me, but exhaustion left us with little choice. The motel was the kind of place where the neon sign buzzed and flickered, casting eerie red hues against the cracked pavement. The night manager barely looked up as we entered, his face illuminated by the soft glow of a television playing some old black and white horror film. The irony was not lost on me. After exchanging a few words and handing over a crumpled set of bills, we were given a key to room 6, a nondescript door at the far end of the lot. The room was as unimpressive as expected. A single lamp flickered on the nightstand, the bedspread a faded floral pattern that had long since lost its vibrancy. Emily sat on the edge of the mattress, her eyes distant, her fingers tracing invisible patterns on her knee. I locked the door behind us, bolting it for good measure before letting out a weary sigh. "I don't know how we made it out," she murmured, finally breaking the silence. I sat beside her, taking her hand in mine. "We fought. We didn't give in." She nodded slowly, but the fear in her eyes remained. "But what if it's not over? What if the curse doesn't end just because the manor is gone?" I had no answer for that. The weight of the whispers still clung to me, an unshakable reminder that the horrors we had faced were not easily erased. The Blackwood curse had endured for generations. Why should we believe we were any different? A chill ran down my spine as I realized that while the manor had crumbled, the spirit of its darkness may have found another home. And if that was the case, where did that leave us? The lamp beside us flickered violently before going out completely, plunging the room into total darkness.